Well, hey there, boys and girls, ladies and gents, theys and theirs. This is Tara Shapansky from the Polish-American Brotherhood and Adam Francisco from Be Free My Sheeple. And you're listening to the T&A Show, the Tara and Adam Show. Well, hey there, boys and girls, ladies and gents, theys and theirs. This is Tara Shapansky from the Polish-American Brotherhood and Adam Francisco from Be Free My Sheeple. And you're listening to the T&A Show, the Tara and Adam Show. Well, hey there, boys and girls, ladies and gents, theys and theirs. This is Tara Shapansky from the Polish-American Brotherhood and Adam Francisco from Be Free My Sheeple. And you're listening to the T&A Show, the Tara and Adam Show. Well, hey there, boys and girls, ladies and gents, theys and theirs. This is Tara Shapansky from the Polish-American Brotherhood and Adam Francisco from Be Free My Sheeple. And you're listening to the T&A Show, the Tara and Adam Show. And Adam, you're on.
Oh, hello there, everybody. Welcome to the earliest episode we've ever done of the T&A Show. And we have a great guest today, who also happens to be our youngest guest ever on the show. Hope it doesn't sound creepy, Grayson. I hope my tone was appropriate there. But we have Aaron Rosenthal.
You did just fine there, Adam. You did absolutely fantastic.
Awesome. Aaron Rosenthal here, the founder of America Plus platform, is one of the youngest patriots out there and a voice that all of you guys should be aware of. So go follow him on TikTok, America Plus Ghost, and follow him on YouTube, America Plus. Aaron, I would love if you wanted to introduce yourself.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. You know, me and Adam have known each other for almost about, I'd say maybe 2 years now, but this is really the first time I'm just now starting to talk with him in person, so I'm very happy about that. So thank you guys for having me on. Just so you guys know, my TikTok username, America Plus is Ghost. That will change in the future. I had it set to where it was just a backup account. That just was a silly backup account name. So that will change in the future, just so you guys know. But yeah, for the time being, just to introduce myself, my real name is Aaron Rosenthal. I'm known as America Plus online. Just recently started posting on YouTube. I'm mostly known on TikTok. That's my main platform. I post man on the street videos, documenting crazy encounters. I consider myself a supporter of Nick Fuentes' movement alongside Grayson over here. So that's why me and Grayson are definitely going to get along throughout the majority of this podcast. Yes, sir, America first. As you can tell by the hat, I'm sure that probably gave it away. But I guess that basically summarizes me in a nutshell.
Awesome. And Aaron here is really good friends with Jeff, the founder of Paint the Trump platform, right?
Yes, sir. Me and Jeff have been friends since, well, I'm 16 now. We first met, I think, when I was 11. Shall we say? He was an art teacher of mine.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, I was one of the original cast members for his YouTube channel, Paint the Trump, which has been moved to Rumble, just so you guys know. You should definitely go follow that on Rumble, because he has got some content that it's definitely some crazy stuff, shall we say.
So it's good content. That's what I'm hearing. It's good stuff.
He's got 2 strikes on YouTube right now, so if he gets a third one, he'll be permanently banned from YouTube. I mean, they're doing everything they can to get rid of him off of the platform.
Too much truth.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 90,000 subscribers. He's been stuck there for about over a year now. YouTube won't let him grow, it seems like.
Well, and that's exactly why he decided to move to Rumble, because originally, he was on YouTube posting just fine. Since then, his channel has really just turned into one big commercial where he says, hey guys, be sure to go follow me on Rumble. And that's really what all of his videos are anymore, because if he says anything that's edgy, anything that is remotely based at all whatsoever, they'll just kick him off and, hey, why is he going to lose 90,000 subscribers over nothing?
Right.
So right now, it's just one big giant commercial for him to advertise his Rumble channel, which is doing just fine. So be sure to go show him some love, man. Jeff is really the person that gave me my start in this industry. So
hell yeah. And let's talk I mean, this is a good topic into censorship, because, obviously Jeff has to navigate the minefield that is YouTube. Tara and I have to do that. Grayson has to do that. I think Grayson has a strike still, or did it fall off?
Out of all the things that I say, I got a strike for live streaming the Defeat the Mandates rally, that there was a speaker there that says something about COVID. Out of everything that I've ever done and put on YouTube, that was the one that got me a strike.
Yeah,
so COVID is
strict.
a big no-no on YouTube.
Yeah. Aaron here, you had a pretty big TikTok channel.
Yes, I did.
How many subscribers did you have?
I had about 29,000 followers.
And they took you down.
Yes, they took me down.
So let's talk about that. Like, what do you think that you were posting that made you a target for TikTok?
What didn't I post? That didn't make me a target for TikTok, shall we say. Again, the majority of my videos are really, really funny, just talking or debating, or shall we say, just documenting what's going on with the left out on the street, shall we say.
Yep.
So I guess you could call me, an investigator. Somewhat, I hate using that word because it's so cringe, but I'm sure you somewhat get what I mean. This is actually my third account that I'm on right now because we just talked about my username for the account that I'm using right now. This is actually my third account. My second account, I just had to self-destruct because it was shadow banned, so I decided to start all over again. Again, I don't really know what I posted because they didn't tell me. Normally, whenever you send an email, they'll give you a response back, or whenever you submit an appeal, they'll allow you to say something. They won't even let me appeal in this case, so I won't ever be able to actually know.
Wow.
So
did you download your data from the platform? Did you even waste your time doing that?
They wouldn't let me do that either because whenever I pressed the button and said, okay, it'll be done around this date. Well, when that date came, it told me that it was canceled.
Wow.
And I did that, I'd say maybe 18, 19 times, and it just never would let me download my data.
So I downloaded my data. It's pretty useless, in my opinion. It's just not worth it. As you know, I got nuked too at 50,000 subscribers. And it freaking sucks, man. You spend so much time building these platforms, this audience, and they just cut your voice. They just cut your throat. And Grayson and I were talking about this yesterday on the stream. Basically, we're freedom fighters. And the word freedom now is something that these globalists, these communists don't want any part of. So when you have people like us with America First hats, Let's Go Brandon, the stuff that Grayson and Tara posts, they want to shut us down. They want to suppress us.
I actually got shadow banned early on because I went to the first Million MAGA March, and there was pretty much starting out my YouTube. I made this great video edit. We had some really inspirational music, and I'm showing off because the Million MAGA March, the media is like white supremacy, and I'm out there. It's there's Vietnamese, there's African Americans, there's Latino Americans, there's everybody that you could possibly have in America because we're a really diverse country. And I made this great inspirational video showing it. I see it going up. I got 2,000 views, 3,000 views. I go to bed. I wake up. I'm down to 500 views. And I'm like, how the hell did this happen? Because it was taken off like a rocket. And ever since that video of the Million MAGA March, I've been shadow banned on YouTube.
Such freaking bull.
This whole thing has really taught us a very good lesson on, you give them an inch and they take a mile. Because I'm old enough to remember when big tech censorship showed up on the scene as a new phenomenon, with people like Milo, people like Gavin McGinnis, Owen Schroyer, Alex Jones. I'm old enough to remember when this was a new thing, when it was unheard of that someone would be banned from Twitter. Now that's just the law of the land. It's...
it's expected. We all just expect it to happen eventually.
Sure. I mean, it's a prime example, and I think conservatives are finally starting to learn their lesson when they hear, you give them an inch, and they take a mile. Okay, and this is where we're finally starting to wake up and realize that we need to truly turn the Overton window to the right in order to prevent this from happening.
And that's why everything from our First Amendment needs to be protected when it comes to freedom of speech, because once you have that power, you'll never get it back. Those freedoms, you'll never get it back. And then Grayson and I were discussing how people say, oh, freedom of speech, I can say what I want. That's not necessarily true. There's still going to be consequences to the things that you're saying. Freedom of speech when it comes to the First Amendment is the government can't come in and arrest you for the things you say. But I do feel like social media and big tech, that's an arm of the government. When you're being tossed out of these town halls, that is an infringement to our First Amendments.
Yep. And I got to just give a shout out, Tara, to your outfit today. If we can just focus on some of those elements that you're wearing.
Org. Let's
start with the hat. Tell us about the hat real quick.
Well, this is by PT News, my favorite mug. I am matching coordinated today, so I finally cleaned out my closet a little bit, and I was looking for my hat collection. That's why I haven't been wearing hats pretty recently, but now I got my favorite Antifa Sucks hat. Coordinated with my Antifa Sucks mug.
She wonders why she's on the Antifa's radar. She wonders why. And then she's also got on her porg hat, which adds a level of innocence to her outfit.
It's a little early right now for St. Patty's Day, but I just got the shirt in, so I'm like, I want to wear it.
It's a new one.
Yeah, it's a new one. I got an Easter one too.
For those who don't know, a porg is an animal from Star Wars universe.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I grew up as an absolute nerd. I still identify as a nerd, and I'm going to get a lot of pushback from the Groypers for saying this, but I'm still a self-described nerd about these things, man. Believe me.
Tara, go to my camera. We got a porg right here. This is the cutest porg of them all.
That is not a porg.
She's a little porg. She's adorable.
She likes my porgs. Every time she runs into my studio, I have a family of porgs that keep growing in the studio. And
Yeah, sure. It's up right there, right above her shoulder.
I'll try and grab it. But Cloud runs in, she jumps on my desk, and she tries sometimes to get up there and climb the
That's why.
the shelves
That's
to
why
get
you
to
put
the
them on the top
porg.
shelf. Because
Yeah,
you want
they're
to
on
keep
the
them
top.
from
They're on the top shelf now. Let me see if I can grab it.
So grab one of those little groypers.
Can we make
Speaking
any
of-
political relativism to Star Wars? What's going on? And be like, this is just like what happened in Star Wars.
I don't know enough about Star Wars to make those comparisons, but I know Palpatine somehow is somebody.
He's a cool guy. I like Palpatine.
So that's what we have Tim Pool for, to make Star Wars somehow political, as he did in the Hunter Avalon debate. That's,
Did he? I missed
that's
that.
what we have Tim Pool for.
Yeah, he does talk about Star Wars sometimes
He does.
with his analogies, like the Empire striking back.
And
So-
I love it. I love it. What can you say? I love it.
So Tara's got some groypers in her arms.
Excuse me, Mr.
I feel like
Francisco.
that's what a groyper would look like a cute little thing.
And this isn't my entire
Excuse me?
pork
I don't know what a
collection. I got
groyper is.
couple of
So
them.
I want to talk about that.
Deep fried.
No, don't do that to her. No. Don't show Cloud.
Groyper, an actual picture of a groyper, is literally just a copy of Pepe the Frog. Okay,
Yeah,
like
this isn't a groyper. This is a porg.
Yeah, that one's deep fried, and then I have stir fried, air fried. They're the entire fried family.
Stop. So, all right. So I got a question for you guys, Aaron. If you could tell me what the hell is? I don't know what a groyper is. What the hell is a groyper?
it sure as hell isn't the thing that Tara is holding and has all around this place, and as well as what she has on her shirts. I can tell you that now.
But what is a groyper? Because I'm going to tell you this: like, I'm not involved in the groyper movement, right? Like, I don't know much about it. I hear it in the news sometimes, and it's usually used the negative connotation, right? So, what exactly is it? The more I learn about it, the more I'm learning it's not that big of a deal. It's kind of like the Proud Boys, how they're demonized, but in reality, they're just constitutionalists who want to defend the Constitution. So, what is a groyper from your perspective?
In all reality, it's a meme. In all reality, Grayson, you're killing this dude. For those of you that are watching, I just met him like 10 minutes ago, and he's already killing us. Like, I'm already wanting to kill him. And in all reality, dude, it's a meme, okay? And just reality, people that identify as groypers, people that associate with the term, we're just paleocons, we're just America first, we're just Christians, we're nationalists, we support Nick Fuentes and his movement, all that stuff. Groyper, it's basically like a Pepe the Frog, but more cozy. So it's like whenever we do go out and do our thing, which is, confronting Con Inc. and all that stuff, we'll just, because we don't want our faces shown, we'll just cover it up with a picture of Pepe the Frog, and we'll just call it a groyper. So in all reality, it's just a meme. You're right. It's nothing all that serious. We do consider ourselves serious people with serious political thoughts and serious political ideas that we want taken seriously. But at the same time, this is a mostly, very, very young movement. So there is going to be, sort of like that gamer culture aspect to it.
Interesting. So you're going to be going to the AFPAC,
Correct.
right? Is that like would you say that's like a groyper thing?
It's organized by the leader, yes. Nick Fuentes.
Okay. So I've never been to any of these events before. I believe we're all going, or you guys are going to AFPAC. Is that right, Tara and Greason?
We are.
And then CPAC is the same weekend too. Mm-hmm. So we have all these events coming up. Tell me about your experiences at like CPAC or AFPAC in the past, because I know you've been to them before.
Yes, this will be my third year attending CPAC and my first year actually attending AFPAC. So I've never been to AFPAC before because This is my first year really as a Nick Fuentes fan. I was a Nick Fuentes' #1 hater for like 2 years.
Really? So you went from
tell us about that.
You didn't like him.
I counter-protested him in DC.
Bro.
All right, let's talk about this.
Yes, I used to be his #1 hater.
Why did you hate him, and what made you switch?
I mean, same reason anyone who's a libertarian, same reason anyone that's in Conservative Inc. hates Nick Fuentes. It's just what we're told. Okay, it's status quo. Okay, whenever someone, similar to when a foreigner comes into your own country and decides, hey, we're going to shape your culture, we're going to change the way that you live. That's exactly what Nick Fuentes is trying to do with conservatism as we speak. Now, I didn't realize it at the time, but that's a good thing, because given the state of conservatism, listen, we don't have much time left. If you see it right now, our civilization is being destroyed, but we won't do anything about it. Okay, what's happening here? So that's not at all a bad thing. Little 13-year-old, 14-year-old me didn't realize that. So that led me to do things like counter-protest him when I was in D.C., to calling his supporters at a rally in Gainesville neo-Nazis, stuff like that, to basically trolling his comment sections when he was on D-Live all the time. It wasn't until finally, I'd say maybe around my second CPAC, where I got into a thing with Caitlin Bennett's husband, Justin Moldo, because I know the guy, I'm not like friends with him or anything, but I'm acquainted with him, shall we say. And he was telling me how he thought Nick was funny and all that stuff. And I'm like, dude, that guy's a neo-Nazi. He believes this, he believes that. And it was just like, dude, Aaron, come on. Like, come on. That was really sad. He was just like, Aaron, Come on. Because he's obviously a supporter of Nick. And I remember just looking back on that conversation, and I just thought to myself, okay, I just can't keep pretending anymore. And so I just basically made the conversion overnight. But
Did you watch the America First program at all?
yes, every night. Even when I described myself as a hater of Nick,
So
I
when,
still found
so
myself
when you
watching
were
it every
against
night.
Nick Fuentes, you were still watching America First? And
Every night.
And you thought that was a neo-Nazi back then?
Yeah. It was the funniest thing. Yeah, it is crazy because I would catch myself watching him like, dude, you think this guy is going to destroy the conservative movement? Why are you watching it every night? And I would try to use, sort of like an art of war analogy of, you got to know your enemy in order to destroy him. And part of me would be like, Aaron, that's bullshit. You know it. Like, come on. Let's be real here.
So he had a podcast called America First?
Has a podcast
Yeah,
called
it's
America
still
Oh, he
going
has.
on. I see Nick a lot like a funny Patrick Buchanan. A funny, more charismatic version of him.
So why does he have all these haters then? Why is he banned from all these platforms if he's not?
He's influential. He's speaking the truth. When I first discovered Nick, I was in China and he was live streaming on YouTube. He wasn't banned then. And I was already having a lot of these same debates in China because I ran a free speech debate group called Pure Politics. I mean, that's where Pure Politics came from for me. And it's like I have all these different conversations with communists, socialists, fascists, like all the entire spectrum because it's a free speech. And over in China, they don't care what you say as long as you're not criticizing the CCP. So I'm already starting to articulate some of these views, and I discover Nick, and Nick has gotten almost all of these subjects, and he's articulating them in such a precise way that I was just hooked as soon as I saw his first episode. And the reason why they're trying to censor him is because he articulates a lot of these ideas that people have. They're not able to fully flesh them out or understand them. And he's like, just look at it right here. And I'm going to explain it in a sentence or two. And then people are like, oh, well, duh. Well, duh. Now it makes perfect sense. Why didn't I think of that? So he's just a really good orator, and he's really good at taking at what's going on in America and Western civilization itself and putting it into a digestible form.
Well, and it's not even just that. It's not even when it comes to his views or what he says or anything. This point that Kai Clip said to me, Kai Schwimmer, whatever you want to call him. He goes by Kai Clips online, but his real name is Kai Schwimmer, so whatever you want to call him. This is a point that he made to me when I interviewed him in July at the American Populist Summit, and I'm basically just going to quote him when I say this. For us as conservatives, to physically identify ourselves with the things that are hurting all conservatives, that being cancel culture, that being the impersonating, is a very necessary thing. Nick, if anything, even if you disagree with him, even if you don't like him, given what he's been put through by the federal government, has become a representation of what the establishment fears, and that alone makes him important to support. I mean, you're obviously not going to agree with him on everything that he ever says. No one 100% agrees with anything anyone says, for that matter, but that doesn't eliminate you from recognizing that when someone is put through what Nick has been put through by the federal government, that makes him important to support no matter what.
That's a good point.
And I know, like, Nick Fuentes apparently has been put on the no-fly list. Is that right?
Correct. He's never been charged with a crime, by the way.
For political dissidents, that's something that you always hear about our media saying about China. Oh, you're a political dissident in China. You could disappear. You're not allowed to go on trains or airplanes. Then all of a sudden, it happens here in the United States of America to somebody who is just speaking on a live show.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And I know, Grayson, you've had issues with flying, right? Because, whatever. I have had some issues, although I think I'm very low down the list. They only give me extra screening half the time.
Yeah, they say it's random. I don't think it's random.
not
After
random.
a certain amount of time, you're like, how random is this, right?
Yeah, it's not freaking random.
Sure.
But Tara, if you want to pull up my screen, we have the Wikipedia page up for Nick Fuentes. And they don't paint him in the best light, this Wikipedia page here.
Wikipedia is far left propaganda,
Of course.
and people are starting to recognize it.
His middle name's Joseph.
And I don't know how young. He's young.
Just now learning that.
He's a young
Joseph.
kid.
He's like 22,
24,
23.
25.
And he's already put on the most successful political movement in American history.
That's amazing. He's an American far-right and white nationalist political commentator and live streamer. The Anti-Defamation League has described Fuentes as a white supremacist. A former YouTuber, his channel was permanently suspended in February 2020 for violating YouTube's hate speech policy. Fuentes has described himself as an American nationalist, Christian conservative, and paleoconservative, which Aaron actually introduced me to that word.
Yes,
Nowhere-
American
What's a
nationalist,
paleo?
Nowhere in that list did they say that Nick Fuentes described himself as a white nationalist. And I want to point out that the ADL did a very similar thing to me when I got back from China. Is I was chanting Christ is King at one of the Million MAGA marches, and they ran an entire article naming me as part of like part of the Groypers. I'm like, this is pretty crazy that I get put names right next to Nick. But I was a Christian conservative. I still am a Christian conservative. And the ADL says I'm a Christian conservative. And ever since that article came out, they conflate Christian conservatism with white nationalism. And I feel like Nick Fuentes never described himself as a white supremacist or a white nationalist. He's always described himself as a hardcore Christian conservative.
He doesn't even identify as white. He's often said he identifies as Latino. He doesn't even identify as white. He may not appear that way, but doesn't even identify that way.
So I just wanted to point that out with the ADL and how they're phrasing this in the Wikipedia article.
It's crazy.
And this is a point that was made to me by Groyper back when I was a Nick Fuentes hater and I debated my very first Groyper on immigration. When I began referring to him as like a racist and a white supremacist, he looked at me and he was like, dude, his last name's literally Fuentes.
That means fountain in Spanish.
Precisely. So if you're trying to use
that?
If you're trying to use that line against him, his last name's literally Fuentes, guys. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's the thing. You always think that would give him some type of, let's call it a shield, right? But you were telling me earlier that the problem is he's very white passing.
Sure.
And so the problem in our society now, as you know, is we moved towards the opposite of what MLK Jr. wanted. Today, we have content of the skin color is more important than the content of the character. And there's different rules based on your skin color. So the things that I can do in public, such as wearing a Trump hat, I don't get painted as a racist immediately. I get painted more as a curiosity, same as Tara. Whereas if Grayson or you were to come out with a Trump hat, people might see you as white, quote unquote, white nationalist, white supremacist.
I have white privilege, so I can pretty much do whatever I want according to the left, and I do. You know, if I see a liberal with their car, I'm like, give me that car, my white privilege, and they do it. So.
You know, I would argue, and I've been seeing a lot more of this, that there is such a thing, such as black privilege today. And I mean, let's just, I guess, talk about that a little bit now because it's a pretty good segue. But for example, there was that the BLM activist that threatened, I think, the Democratic candidate.
The Jewish Democratic candidate.
Yeah, he tried to assassinate him or something.
Yeah.
He's been bailed out by BLM. Bailed out. And he was allowed to get his funds from crowdfunding, from a BLM crowdfunding, right? But then you have Kyle Rittenhouse, who's BLM, whose crowdfunding gets thrown off the platform. Sure. So why can a BLM activist who potentially assassinates a Jewish Democratic politician, why are they bailed out and free? But Kyle Rittenhouse was held in jail for 2 years and was not allowed to have his fund. Same as the Freedom Truckers.
This really, and this is another point I want to make, this really goes off a little bit off topic. When you're talking about situations like that, a situation like that I wouldn't describe as black versus white. That's a situation I would describe as normal versus elite. Because you have an organization, like Black Lives Matter that really brings in millions and millions of dollars every single year. Of course, they have the power to do that. Kyle Rittenhouse, it's just a little Kenosha kid. So what does he have? So I wouldn't really describe that as really a power against white versus black, but rather as a battle between poor versus elite.
It's interesting.
Class struggle. I'm seeing that pop up more and more, especially like J6 and now the truckers protest, that it is the regular people, the working class versus the elite.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, though, in America is like a lot of times they'll say it's racism, but it's really classism. And they conflate the two, right? Because there are poor white people.
Sure.
There are rich black people, like that exists. And I feel like when you make it a racial issue, it kind of ignores the nuances. But I think classism definitely addresses it a lot more accurately. So we got to start guiding the conversation in that direction, you know?
Sure, I can see that. I mean, given that economic factors is one of the main things of how people live their lives.
Exactly.
It also dives deeper besides just these regular social issues that we've been debating about for centuries, okay? A social issue such as race is something we've been talking about for decades. Something like economics we've been talking about since the beginning of time. Right. So it goes down a little bit deeper when we begin the subject of classism over racism.
Right. That I agree with. So coming up with the AFPAC, who are you most excited to meet or see for based on the rosters? I know Carrie Lake is not going to be there.
Maybe. She might show up. We'll see. She has a conflicting engagement with the Reagan dinner. So that was the kerfluffle going on behind the scenes.
Well, she's also going to be at CPAC, so there's a good chance we can catch her around some gripers. We'll have to see. But, I have always, even back during my libertarian days, obviously he's made a huge turnaround, which, hey, good for him. Shout out to him. Obviously, Milo is a big one. He's definitely one of the more mainstream people that'll be there. Obviously, Nick. I've never actually met Nick before. I've tried multiple times, but I've never actually met him. Even when I was counter-protesting him, I wasn't able to actually get near him during his big tech rally. Of course, that was the rally that I thought I was going to meet him, but he ended up getting put on the no-fly list just the day before. So that didn't work out so well. So this will actually be my first chance to actually get to meet him. Of course, Gavin McGinnis is also pretty good. So at the moment, I'd say those will probably be my top three.
Nice.
And you got student discount pricing, right?
Joys of being 16, people. Deal with it. Deal with it.
Because those tickets are pretty expensive.
Oh, they are. They are.
Right? CPAC's what, like 300?
300.
and AppPac's 150 or something.
Yeah, well, CPAC has always had a soft spot for students, no matter what. They've always had a soft spot for kids that want to turn out to stuff like this.
What's the CPAC discount?
For me, I think it was like $60.
60.
Holy shit! So you're getting 80% off.
Correct.
That's freaking amazing. Wow.
Deal with it.
Well, the expectation is that if you're an adult, you're working and can afford it, right?
Right.
Well, this also exemplifies these are the best years of your life, and it's all downhill from here.
No way. I
Golden years
disagree with that.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy over
I disagree
here.
with that.
You're never gonna get taller.
I think life. I think life gets better. I don't. He acts like I'm some short dude. I'm 5'10".
This guy's basically like 5'4". 5'10" is 5'4" in the real world.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Part of me kind of agrees with both. Part of me kind of agrees with growth.
Just because you're now taller than me doesn't mean that
that's
you're
because
like,
Aaron's tall.
Because I understand that life is also going to get worse in a certain sense, but I see the way that a lot of adults behave in this world, and it so much closely resembles all the kids I see in high school. So it's like, is this just a never-ending cycle that's never going to end? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll tell you this.
I get it.
If you go into the corporate world, it's like high school extended. The corporate world is literally high school extended. You're trying to be the cool kid at your job. You're trying to be well liked because the cool kids get the promotions. The cool kids make more money. You know, you want to be with the boss. You want him to favor you over everybody else. So yes, the corporate world, if you go into that, is going to be like high school extended.
Well, clearly this isn't the proper way to fit in. What I'm doing right now, this isn't the best way to fit in,
But-
even among some of my
Well,
friends.
cool kids are trailblazers. A lot of people, they want to hang out with the cool kids, they're followers, and really you look at the cool kids are the ones they don't even try to be. It's just a Chad. They show up, they got the energy, the look to them, and a lot of people are followers, and they gravitate towards the trailblazers, the leaders. So I think you are on the right path, actually.
I do too. I was never involved in this world when I was your age, so it's pretty impressive. Tara, let's pull up this meme that Grayson is referring to. So this is the reality. Somebody who's 5'10" to 6'2" is very similar in height. They're not much different, but apparently
Says the guy who's 5'10".
apparently, according to 4chan, there's a significant difference between us. And then apparently to fit, I don't even know what fit is. There's a big difference. And in the mind of women, apparently I'm a midget.
Is this true? Is this true, Tara?
Dude, I'm taller than you. Get over it. Like,
Yeah, but Tara, move your video so that you can see the right meme all the way on the
You
right.
can't even see him. He's so short in that last one.
But look at this. That's what they say in the mind of woman I look like at a 5'10" guy. I don't think I look like a tiny person.
you're not.
I know, but
I've got you beat by like a millimeter, dude. For those of you that are watching, we were arguing about this, or at least he was giving me a hard time because we just found out I'm taller than him now just outside. Now he won't.
well, it's just
Don't
strange
drop
because
this.
when I met you 2 years ago, you were 5'4".
Yes.
You were a short little kid. And now I'm watching
He was
him grow
14.
up. He was 14, but he's 5. I'm just saying now he's literally taller than me, and it's just bizarre for me. Whereas people like me and you, Tara, we're stable height to him. We haven't changed because we're full grown adults. You know, we're close
I
to our
think it's because
deaths.
Grayson has milk with dinner every single night, so it's for growing.
You got to get the milkies.
Yeah, I will say when I was
Very
in
good advice.
college,
I'll take note of that.
when I was in college, I was all about like getting big and bulking up. So I was drinking 8 glasses of milk a day when I was in college.
A little late college.
Freshman
You should
year?
have started at 14 years old.
But I will say I gained an inch freshman year in college, and I think it has to do with 8 glasses of milk.
This all started because I was making a funny joke with you, and it seems like you really internalized this.
Well, because I'm not short, so that's why I'm not a little midget like this on the right. Oh boy, this is this.
So
this-
I heard a question earlier that was asked. And I think it would be a good one to answer. What is a paleoconservative?
yeah.
So very simply put, if you want to break down the actual definition of the word as it is, the term paleo is Latin meaning traditional, and of course you have the word conservative. So it's basically just a more traditional conservative. Because given the modern state of conservatism, whether it be conservatives actually starting to push the LGBT agenda, or whether it be conservatives allowing a porn star to show up in their conference, given the modern state of conservatism, it's necessary to put a label like that in front of it so people know you are a true conservative. You're the actual real deal. Okay, because mind you, there is a set definition of what it means to right wing, and the modern right, shall we say, isn't meeting that criteria.
It's a good explanation. I remember in China, I read an article by Roosh saying, "What have conservatives conserved?" And essentially, you look around in America, and it's a good question to ask because it's a hard list to come together. So, paleoconservative, you actually have to go farther back than our modern conservatives. You have to go back to Pat Buchanan, stuff like that.
Well, and this goes back to the very basic point that paleocons make, which is Conservatives can't beat the left by becoming the left. Okay, you can't beat your enemies if you are the exact same thing as your enemy. Doesn't matter what your enemy is or what they're promoting. You can't beat your enemy if you're the exact same thing as your enemy. Okay, are you a conservative if you're more of a progressive than Joe Biden was in 2008? When Joe Biden first became vice president in 2008, he was morally opposed to pornography. He opposed boys being in girl sports. These days, there's some conservatives out here that are promoting that. Okay, are you truly a conservative if you're more of a progressive than Joe Biden was when he first became vice president? Our answer is very simple, no. So we're trying to actually return to what real conservatism is because we care about the truth.
You know, it's interesting. I saw a video from on Instagram by a creator called The Gay Who Strayed. Well, Tara, we should probably get on our show at some point.
Yeah, I've been in touch with her.
Yeah, so she put up a compilation of Obama speaking against gay marriage, and it's a video of Biden speaking against gay marriage, which, you know, the left frowns upon, which is funny that they're supposed to be Democrats. And then it's a video of Trump being very open-minded to gay marriage. He's the first president in history to go into the presidency open to marriage equality. So you're right. That is rather interesting, right? That these two Democrats historically have been anti-gay marriage, and then Trump is pro-gay marriage.
Sure.
So that would be a non-conservative value by Trump.
Sure.
Right?
Again, I have said this time and time again, Donald Trump is not a conservative. Donald Trump is not right-wing. He does not meet those metrics by any ways at all whatsoever. Donald Trump is just Donald Trump. It's not the conservative in me. It's not the right-winger in me that supports Trump. It's the nationalist in me that supports Trump. It's the populist in me that supports Trump, and that's just about it.
Right.
Okay, I'm not going to try to classify Trump as something that he's not.
Right. So isn't it interesting, though, that Trump isn't those things at all, and yet he attracts and represents the conservatives as if he's like their symbol, even if it has nothing to do with it? Isn't it interesting, though,
Sure.
the way that works?
Well, because thankfully the modern right, or shall we say the Paleocon right, is finally starting to wake up and realizing that nationalism is your friend, that economic populism is your friend, and he was the first mainstream figure that actually bring these things into the modern light.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting.
Americans liked President Trump because he was patriotic. He's the first patriotic president that many Americans have had in their entire lifetime. All the other past presidents, you have George Bush, Clinton, bigger Bush, older Bush. They were just paid lip service to it. They weren't truly nationalists.
Yeah,
they were
you're right.
globalists. And then you have President Trump coming along, and he's just like, I love America. Let's put America first. And that's what united all these different disparate groups, really, because he wasn't a Republican. He's not a conservative in many ways. But he did attract all these different types of groups that would normally be opposed to each other to say, you know what? I don't agree with everything, but Donald Trump, he's a nationalist. He loves America, and he's putting America first. And that's what I'm voting for with it, because if we don't put America first, this nation's just going to get ripped apart.
Yeah, that's true. Aaron, what are your thoughts on the state of this country right now as a 16-year-old? Are you excited for the future? Are you hopeful? What's your views?
I mean, this was inevitable. America was doomed since its founding. Ever since America was first established, we were doomed. That's just, there's no other way to put it. America was doomed since its founding. Okay, the simple fact is that our founding fathers, while they may have been slightly religious, not as much as what people say they were, they weren't the most religious people on the face of the planet, but they still identified as Protestant. They still said that our Constitution was made for amoral and religious people, but they didn't implement it in any way whatsoever. They didn't try to enforce it in any way in this country. Okay, the beautiful thing about monotheistic religion is that a single God meant a singular model for moral behavior, a single model for making all morals objective in this country. So from there, we put morality up for debate and made it subjective and not objective. Any society that deals with that, it's inevitable that it's going to be doomed. And that's how we end up in the state in this country. We're actually debating morals. You can't do that in order to have a stable country. You have to have a common denominator factor, or a common denominator, somewhat of a factor in that. So no, America was doomed since its founding.
Do you think that that's an issue of like multiculturalism? Because America is a country of all these different cultures, right? Whereas, and you know, there's an article that I shared with Grayson and Tara, I'll send it to you afterwards, about how China, from their perspective, China believes they have an advantage on us, right? Because they're a single race. They believe that Chinese is by blood, not by, you know, some kind of label. It's by blood. And so as a result, you can have a more unified view. And as a matter of fact, China, and this is from the article from some Chinese document, they basically said that they're able to be racist, and in a way it asks them to protect their own culture. Whereas here in America, we're all about quote unquote anti-racism and wokeness, and it's destroying us from within.
Sure.
Do you think that this is all true stuff?
Well, to answer your question, yes, I do believe multiculturalism absolutely does play a factor, because the simple fact is, can people's actual problems from their native homeland be separated from themselves? The answer is pretty much no. You look at African Americans, for example. The black homicide rate is 19.4%. That's way more compatible with murder rates in Western Africa than what we have here in the United States. So yes, it absolutely does play a factor, because can people's problems truly be separated from their native homeland? The answer is no, simply.
Wow, that's interesting. I had no idea about those statistics. But the thing is, from my perspective, I grew up in New York City, right? New York City is, as you know, one of the most diverse places in the world. And I've always thought that that was an asset growing up in New York. I mean, you ride the subway. Have you been to New York City before?
Yes, I have.
Have you ridden the subway before?
Yes, I have.
So when you're on the subway in New York, you see people from all walks of life on one subway car, right? You'll see, and I think John Rocker got in trouble for this, the MLB player. Do you guys remember that, Grayson? John Rocker, the baseball player.
Keep going with your point. I don't remember.
Tara, do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
All right, so John Rocker, let me see if I can pull this up. He rode the New York City subway about 20 years ago, and here's his quote. I have it up right here. I can't believe I pulled this up. Okay, he got in a lot of trouble for this at the time. Okay, this was considered very edgy comment, but this is what he said. It is the most hectic, nerve-wracking city. The biggest thing I don't like about New York are the foreigners. I'm not a very big fan of foreigners. Then there's the experience of riding a New York City subway. Imagine having to take the 7 train in the ballpark next to some kid with purple hair, next to some, can I say that word on YouTube? Next to some blank with AIDS, right next to some dude who just got out of jail for the 4th time, right next to some 20-year-old mom with 4 kids. It's depressing. This is what he called. This is how he referred to the subway.
That's true, though. That's true.
So what I'm saying, this was his observation, and me being from New York, it is relatively accurate in that you'll see everyone from all walks of life there. I always saw that as a strength, right? Being exposed to so much diversity and how we're all riding the subway together. But that article definitely made me go, that's an interesting perspective.
Sure.
On how multiculturalism and wokeness can actually divide a country and keep us fractured, and we're not unified.
Sure.
And that's the problem. And I think we're seeing that now in America. Look at the state of the country right now between Democrats and Republicans, which is obviously 2 large groups, and it's more nuanced than that. But we're in trouble right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how to get back on track. I don't know. So, Civil War, do you think that we're headed towards that? Are we in one? What are your thoughts on that?
I do believe that we're already in one. I mean,
you think so?
Sure. I mean,
wow.
I mean, how would you define war? Oh, well, people shooting each other in the streets, going out killing. Do you think we're not doing that already as we speak? So,
right.
We've already been in one. We've been in one for the past couple of years now.
Right. That's crazy to think about, man. I mean, I know there was the in Portland there was the Trump supporter that was killed.
Sure.
The Patriot Prayer. He was shot and killed.
Aaron Danielson.
He was just point blank, shot and killed on the street.
You probably can guess how I remembered him.
How do you remember him?
Aaron Danielson.
Oh, similar name.
That was a failed joke. Okay.
I got it, Aaron.
Yeah,
Thank you, Sarah.
You're making dad jokes, even though you're many years away from that.
You see, Tara gives like the female courtesy laugh.
That's right. And she's a sweet little girl. God, that sounds creepy. She's a sweet little girl.
Just do it. You're not even thinking about it.
Oh, God. But Tara's in her 30s, so it's not that creepy. Whatever.
21 forever.
21 forever.
Whoa. You just 2 strikes in a row right there.
Whatever.
16 forever.
Tara's, we've spoken about that before on this platform. So you really think we're in the middle of a civil war right now?
I don't have any reason to debunk that. I don't have any reason to disagree with that.
Where do you think this ends? Do you think it's ever going to go to hot conflict?
Well, I mean, since I believe America was doomed ever since its founding, yes, absolutely, 100%. I don't see how necessarily we find common ground with people like that, because if you truly believe that the ideas that the left is preaching are inherently evil, then how do you find common ground with that? How do you reach a middle ground with that at all whatsoever? So, no, it just depends on who ends up having the biggest power struggle.
Well, I'll say this, I do think that Democrats and Biden voters hate us way more than we hate them. That's my perspective and opinion. And, in dating terms, for example, I would date a liberal girl, but they probably wouldn't date me anymore because we're Trump supporters. And for some reason, we're demonized as the enemies of the country. So I don't know if it's really from our end as much as it is probably coming from their end. What's it like for you in school? Are most kids in your school liberal, or what's going on there?
It's an equal 50-50. The problem is that all the conservative kids are in hiding. That's the problem. They're all in hiding. Now, mind you, when I say conservative, I don't actually mean conservative. Obviously, they're not conservative. Obviously, they support what, by traditional standards, by the correct standards, are not actually right-wing, sort of like neocon nature, but they still are in support of things like Trump and all that good stuff. Trump, DeSantis, all that good stuff. But they're just in hiding. They won't actually say it because they know what will happen to them if they do.
Right. And you've gotten in some stuff with teachers before, right?
Yes, multiple times. I actually, recently almost got into something with my U.S. history teacher about the JFK assassination.
Really?
That just happened a couple of days ago, like 2 days ago, actually.
So what are these teachers? Are most of your teachers liberal, would you say, in school?
Except for one, yeah.
Most of them are.
Yes, correct. Oh,
and since you're in it, do you really think that these teachers, and I know you're Florida, so that's good, but do you think that they're indoctrinating kids?
I don't think it. I know it.
So you see it happening?
With my own 2 eyes.
Wow. And do you wear this Trump stuff or the stuff at school?
I mean, it depends on how you define as like a Trump stuff.
Would you wear this hat at school?
Yes, I have. In the past. My mom's going to kill me when she sees this. She's going to kill me when she finds out that I said yes to that.
So America First isn't so much Trump. It's more patriotic and nationalist.
So that's Trump now, though, at this point. That's, the left, look, the left claims that we on the right side have taken over the American flag, that we've made the American flag a symbol of the right wing.
Well, maybe the left should stop burning them and start waving them.
Agree. I 1,000% agree. But
listen, dude, while you and me both agree that there could be better figureheads, Trump at the end of the day really has become one of the main figureheads for American nationalism. So nationalism at this point does somewhat equal Trump.
Yeah, patriotism is Trump. Nobody thinks about Biden when they hear the word patriot or patriotism. As a matter of fact, they now associate the word patriot on TikTok with a bad word. So apparently, if you have patriot in your profile, they're targeting your account. I think you might. Did you tell me that?
No,
my friend Pete might have told me that.
Then I have a lot of videos I need to edit.
Patriot and conservative are 2 words on TikTok apparently that they're targeting. So if you refer yourself as a patriot, they're coming after you. Somehow that's a bad word.
And for that reason, I'm pulling up my TikTok right now to fix some stuff.
Isn't that freaking crazy? I mean, Tara has no appearance on TikTok at all.
Yeah, after I got shadow banned from the first account, I tried creating a second account, and the first video immediately got shadow banned.
As soon as she posted one video, her channel already got nuked by TikTok. But I told you why that is, right? Because they're using the unique ID on your device.
The second account I started, I posted inside of the Antifa, like when they set up another like Chaz zone over back in August.
And what'd you find in the Chaz zone, Tara?
A lot of disgusting stuff, from piss-filled balloons to things that they set up like spears, piles of bricks, and then they also emptied out eggs and put paint inside the eggs. So it's really some pretty weird stuff in there.
I think the piss-filled balloons is probably the worst.
Yeah.
Well, I know for a fact that CPAC does track your IP address. If you get to a point where you get banned a certain amount of times and you just keep making new accounts, they will go after your IP address and ban you from there. So they do have a hold of your IP address. I do know that much.
Well, it's I'm telling you, every iPhone and every device that we all have in our pockets has what's called a UID, and it's a unique ID. And so they can, my theory is that TikTok, no matter if you have, as long as you're on the same device, they know if it's your new account or not. They know that's all tied to the device. And my guess is that they're all sharing that UID on some kind of server, and Facebook's uploading your profile to that, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. I think behind the scenes, every single phone that we have is mapped to all the accounts we use on it. So that's why when you're banned on one platform, I think you're banned on all the platforms, or you get like shadow banned. You know what I'm saying? So because right now they're coming after me on the only platforms I have freedom on right now is TikTok. Surprised after they banned me once. Now
that's something I never thought I'd hear a human being say.
My new account, TikTok. I have freedom currently on my new account, and Rumble.
That's something I never thought I'd hear someone say. Only platform I have freedom on is TikTok.
That's all I have right now is TikTok and Rumble. Everything else,
he hasn't discovered Gab or Telegram yet.
I don't use it because they're echo chambers. That's my problem with Gab. Is it's an echo chamber.
Sure, and listen, I told you this on one of the very first TikTok live streams we ever did. Alternative social media sites weren't the solution to big tech. It was an excuse for the GOP to do nothing. I get it. But at the same time, dude, we do need to start building our own relations. We do need to start building our own infrastructure in the conservative community. And that's the best way to do it since everything's online these days.
Well, the best way to do it would be to get inside these big tech companies, infiltrate them, and start passing policies.
Well, but since obviously our so-called conservative politicians aren't going to do that, this is all we have.
Right. And you'd have to basically pretend to be a liberal to get inside the companies. Otherwise, they wouldn't hire you.
Trojan horse.
Yeah, you got a Trojan horse. That's the only really way right now at this point. Did you guys hear so you guys know that I love predator catching channels on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I think that they're so interesting to watch, and I love seeing these people getting taken down. I think it's great watching them get exposed. We had Protect the Innocent on our channel, Tara, on the podcast. Did you guys hear what happened yesterday with Facebook executive?
No.
So,
Oh yeah, I
predator
did hear about
catchers
this.
from Indianapolis. It's a different chapter. They have all these chapters all around the country. They caught a Facebook Meta community manager, super guy, high up level. They caught him, and Facebook and Meta had to come out and fire him.
Pretty much
today.
has access to all of your personal information that you upload through the Facebook Meta. That's how high up this guy was.
This guy is a quote unquote community development manager, and he got exposed.
What was he soliciting underage boys? It seems like there's a huge correlation between these homosexuals and pedophilia because
13-year-olds.
Every time they get caught, they're looking for young boys.
Here, put this on, Tara. I got the article up. Daily Crunch: Meta fires executive after predator catchers interview video goes viral. And you got to watch the video, guys. He tries to lie and say he doesn't work for Facebook Meta. He works for a subsidiary. But here it is right here. This is pretty much proof that the guy did work for Meta and Facebook. It's crazy. And it just, I don't know, it seems to me, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, that it always seems to be left-wingers that get caught in these kind of things.
Majority of them,
Sure.
yeah. It's because there's no moral foundation for them.
That's what I'm saying. I try to tell people that it's less likely for conservatives to be involved in this, even if, for example, let's just say that they have inclinations like this, right? Let's just say a conservative person has these inclinations. They're usually pro-God, God-fearing, pro-religion, pro-family, tradition, right? Mm-hmm. Man and woman. That's usually what they believe in. So they're less likely, just from an ideological perspective, to go down this path. I feel like they would have more...
Well, I mean, why would you catch someone who is a Christian, who is a Catholic, or even a very, very strict Protestant? Why would you catch them doing anything like this since they believe so strictly in a very singular God, which meant a singular model for human behavior?
But at the same time, and, you know, I don't know how you guys react to this, because, again, I don't know what I'm walking into here, but there has been stories of like Catholic people getting involved in this kind of stuff. Like, what is it? Churches?
The Catholic priest sexual abuse scandals.
So
that's actually a good subject to bring up.
So doesn't that conflict with my theory of...
No, I think Aaron's about to explain it pretty well because there is a component from the media that they're warping a lot of the information.
Yes, correct. First of all, let me start by saying the whole Catholic priest saying, yes, these people it's happened and we've completely kicked them out of the church, but there's already more cases of this within the Protestant community than there's the Catholic community, even within the Mormon community. Okay, the Mormon community is way smaller than the Catholic community, and we have more cases of this within the Mormons than we do the Catholics. So,
as well as the public school system, you leave Christianity altogether, you go into the secular system and it just explodes. Mm-hmm. So comparatively, the numbers, yes, there's bad people everywhere, but it's an extreme minority. And within the Christian institutions and mainly Catholicism, these people are mostly dealt with incredibly quickly.
Sure. So the fact that this is always brought up no matter what, every time the word Catholic comes up, is just a pure example of anti-Catholic bias. That's all this is.
Yeah, you guys know I'm not religious at all. I mean, I identify as Jewish because I was bar mitzvahed. But, you know, I don't practice at all the religion. Sure. I haven't really gone to synagogue in more than a decade. But I just try to think about this kind of stuff. You know, it's interesting to look at all this stuff. So you're just saying that the media has kind of slanted the story a little bit? Because, Tara, if you pull up my screen, I mean, we see this, you know, as a mainstream news reader, this is the kind of shit that I see. And so you're saying that this is all just, I mean, I'm not surprised. I don't believe the mainstream media for most topics. So this is another example you think of just like... skewing the narrative or
the Mormon religion, despite it being the fastest growing religion in America, is
the Mormon?
Yes, is strictly, or I believe it is. You could fact check me on that. They are strictly, and I mean strictly, very, very, very much smaller than the Catholic Church, and yet they already have more cases within them.
And within
by the FBI.
Within the media and the Catholic Church sexual abuse scandal, we have what's going on. There's a death of one is a tragedy, and the death of a million is just a statistic. Try to get that word out. and when you look at the public school system and secular environments, these are such large numbers. They are statistics. And when you look at Christian institutions, even Catholicism, which is probably way overblown in the media, you have the individual cases. So the numbers do not add up if you look at the data behind the scenes. And it's not my opinion. It's a fact that the media is hyper-focusing on this, and I think it's pretty obvious why the media focus on anti-Catholicism and anti-Christian articles.
Well, we talk about that. They're trying to tear down religion in this country across the board. They want the government to replace that, right? To be the daddy government, you know, the god of everybody. And I just fact-checked you. Mormonism is the fastest-growing religion, apparently.
Crazy.
And, I have it up right here.
It's not Islam?
No, Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world. Mormonism is the fastest growing religion in America.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they say that in 26 states, it's becoming fastest growing group in 26 states, expanding beyond their historic home in Utah to the heart of the Bible Belt and as far away as Maine. Muslims came in second with the growth of 1 million adherents in 197 new countries to a total of about 2.6 million. So there you go.
And from what I understand from scholars like Thomas Sowell and all that, according to them, the reason why the Muslim population is growing as much as what it is because Muslim families, for some reason, have had a population growth where they're having more kids. And obviously, if you're born into a Muslim family, you're more likely to become Muslim. So it's not that people are converting in mass numbers. It's for that reason.
Modern medicine. That's what it is.
Population growth. I wonder what Religion Cloud is.
That movie, All Dogs Go to Heaven, is an animated fiction for a reason.
All dogs do go to heaven. Look at this little face.
She's not going anywhere.
Look at this face, Tara. Put her on the screen. She's so cute. She looks like a little teddy bear. She loved Darren at the car.
Yeah, she did.
I do think this is a good time to point out Spexo and
Yes,
a lot
Spexo.
of I don't want to say groypers, but people like me who are in their 30s, because groypers are mostly like early 20s and teens. So a lot of men who are in their 30s and stuff, they gravitate towards people like Spexo, who I describe as a Catholic supremacist, which I think is pretty awesome. And he has pretty much convinced me on a whole lot of precepts for the religion itself. The reason why a lot of people are converting to Mormonism is because they see Mormons and they see that they have a strong family, they have strong moral values, they have a foundation for what it means to be as a person, they're very sure of themselves, and they have a very positive life. And we don't have that promoted in Catholicism here for some reason, as strong as it should be. And when I look at Spexo, who has convinced me on a lot of this stuff, he's very strong in his values, he's very strong in his morals that he puts out to the world, and he has a past of where he did struggle with atheism and secularism that he was able to overcome through his Catholic beliefs. So I feel like Spexo is a great representation of what a true Catholic convert is, and he's a great role model for other people.
How do you
to look
spell
up to.
Spexo?
SPECK, say it with me, ZO.
SPECKZO.
We're gonna clip that. We're gonna clip that, Grayson. We're gonna clip that and put that in his Telegram chat, just so you know.
This guy is
6'5" Catholic zealot.
Yeah, based. You got to be tall. Tall gang.
Based.
Tall gang. But
he is 6'5", and for that reason, he is better than you. Just so you know.
He stood up to internal hazing. I know our groups, they really like to haze each other, which I think is awesome. I love it.
Wow.
And he weathered the storm, and he came out stronger at the end of it. And he consistently goes into these pagan groups and Wignat groups, and he just internet proselytizes, and he gets converts out of it. So
he took down Beardson Beardley.
Yeah,
Beardson.
yeah, that was an epic stream. He got Beardson Beardley on. They were talking about some stuff. Beardson's going on with stuff in his personal life that I could really felt like manifested in that debate with Spexo.
His wife. Apparently, him and his wife were separated. Which
we're not going to go into that. We're not going to go into that. There's a lot of personal stuff going on with him that manifested in that debate. And Spexo's just cool, calm, and collected, spitting out the facts. And Beardson at one point was like, well, your way of telling people about Catholicism isn't working. And I was just like, are you serious, Beardson? I mean, number one, this is before he rage quit. Number one, like Spexo and his Catholic supremacy was the biggest reason of why I started looking into this and making a serious effort to come towards Catholicism. So I think his outreach is doing great. But yeah, that debate with Beardson was absolutely epic.
Well, I'm right there with you, dude. I don't have the best past in the world either. Whether it be in my personal behavior or the ways I've treated other people, I don't have the best past either. So I can relate to Spec so many different ways, and that's what I think makes him such a great figure.
I have his gab up, Tara, on the screen here. And the
dude has dark humor, so I don't know if you want to put this up on TikTok, on YouTube. Just so you know,
masturbation is a form of self-harm. Here, move that video. Let's read this 1 hour ago. Masturbation is a form of self-harm. If you do it, you're basically the equivalent of a 14-year-old emo girl who cuts herself. Grow up.
Are you sure you want this on YouTube?
Yeah, it's fine.
Are you sure?
I love this stuff. This is the stuff that gets me in there because he speaks in such a masculine way. This actually resonates with a whole lot of young men.
The
Papa
biggest
John. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say the biggest psyop was making people believe loving your country means loving your country's government.
Based.
That's pretty based. Papa John will use CPAC to shout out AFPAC.
He better.
Yeah, I was about to read that one. Yeah, Papa John.
Wendy Rogers is a sitting state senator and wasn't the last speaker to be announced. I was thinking Alex Jones would be one, but Wendy Rogers is obviously a bigger get. that would have made more sense to keep secret. The two speakers still not revealed must be insane and beyond anyone's expectations.
Kanye West. I'm thinking one of them's Kanye West. I'm
really?
Throw that out there right now. Nick has been posting incessantly about Kanye West. Every single day is a mention of Kanye.
Could it be Trump?
Kanye.
I don't know about Trump. Trump, in fact, I don't even know if Trump would really have a good time at AFAC because, Nick and the rest of America First has been giving him a really hard time for being as pro-vaccine as what he is.
But he's actually changed his tune.
Well, he's starting to, but we're still not happy about it. So I don't know if he would necessarily have a good time at AFPAC.
Yeah, but he's changed his tune. I mean, I've noticed.
We'd love him. If Donald Trump
back.
shows up in person, everybody would be extremely positive towards him.
But there would be people that would try to get, their 10 seconds of fame going after Trump for being pro-vaccine.
I hope not.
Here, we can take this off, Tara.
Fight somebody.
Yeah, I just wanted to see my.
You mean like what Beardson's supposed to do to Spexo at AFPAC?
Bring up that tall meme again. That would be Beardson on the.
I'm not bringing the meme of me being short again.
I mean, how tall is that guy? Like
that's
4'1"?
what Beardson said he's gonna do. That's what Beardson said he's gonna do.
The guy can't even jump tall enough to punch him.
Exactly. It's gonna be like Spexo beating up his daughter.
Are you gonna watch that documentary? What's the documentary called?
The Louis Theroux documentary?
Yeah, Louis Theroux.
I have already seen it.
That's where I heard first of Beardson.
Yes, I will. I have already seen it. It is a magnificent documentary. Yes. Let me go and
dick.
Yeah, let me go and say this now. I'm not Beardson's #1 fan. I don't know how that dude got in the movement in the first place.
Beardson Beardley?
Yes, but he is definitely, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, he is definitely America First's weakest link, shall we say.
I am hoping for a redemption arc with this guy because it really seems like from his public posts he's internalizing a lot of the negativity that he's put out is happening, is ending up being a lot of the bad things that's happening in his life right now. And it really seems like Spexo had a pretty big influence on him. And I mean, the guy has, Spexo is like the biggest heart. He's a heart as big as tall as he is.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that there's a redemption arc in the future with this guy because I would like to see Beardson come back to the Christian fold.
I have him on the screen, Beardson, by the way. This is his Instagram.
Oh, boy.
Don't play any of his videos. He will get us kicked off.
You will get banned on YouTube in 3 seconds if you play any of his videos,
Yeah, he's a very vulgar individual, and this is why he needs Spexo's influence.
He describes himself as like the asshole of the movement, like the asshole of the America First
it's
movement.
It's not even a cool
like
asshole thing because he's 4'1".
Exactly.
He's really short?
Yeah.
Like short like me? Like 5'10"?
No. He makes you look like a Chad.
I'm not a Chad, though.
He makes you look like a king.
I'm a beta bucks.
Next to Beardson, you're going to look like a king.
I'm a beta bucks.
Yeah, you're going to look like an alpha emperor next to this dude.
By the way, after our stream, I looked up beta bucks. It's pretty freaking funny.
Are we getting on the incel wiki?
Yo, beta bucks is freaking hilarious. Let me see. Where is it? Beta bucks, Urban Dictionary. Here it is. Tara, pull this up. A male who becomes desired by females once they have declined in looks or want to settle down. Generally, these males will provide for the female financially while getting very little in return. Females will abuse their beta bucks and don't really love them.
I'm going to keep you guys out of trouble, and me, the 16-year-old, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut to keep you guys out of trouble.
Well, the point of this, he brought this up yesterday, beta bucks, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, we had a whole incel off yesterday.
Yeah. But if I go back to high school, man, I remember when I was in high school, there were all these girls I liked.
Sure.
None of them that I could have because I wasn't the cool kid. And I look at them now that we're all almost 40 years old. And let me tell you something about these girls. The men that these women decided to marry, if you could go back to high school and show them who their husbands would be, they would never have believed it. Because the guys that they married, the hottest chicks in my high school, the guys that they married, none of them are ripped, tall, jacked. Maybe some of them rich. I don't know what they do. But none of them look like Chads. A lot of them are like out of shape, overweight.
I mean, you've seen modern American women. It has to be the money.
Well, it also has to be this. When women eventually, their looks fade. They know that. Everyone's looks fades, men too. But they settle down.
Mine's going to last until my 50s, 60s at the latest. Because men, they really peak around their late 40s, early 50s.
Mid-50s.
If they stay in shape. If they stay in shape.
Well, I mean, listen, I do want to get married, but only for the purpose of producing a male heir.
Based. So. Yeah, this is getting more red pilled by the second.
To do a male heir.
I have some Pakistani friends, and their national motto is more sons, more guns. And I've just really internalized that. I'm like, I love Pakistanis so much.
This is what I was just saying to Grayson just before the show started. I would do so well in China, a country that prioritizes sons over anything. I would do so well in there.
Hey Tara, pull this chart up. This is from dating apps. It's one of my favorite charts, and it's what Grayson's referring to. It's desirability by age, and it's based on swipe patterns, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, women peak in their early 20s.
Women peak. No, actually, women peak at 18, and then it's then it's downhill. Not kidding.
It's part of SMV, the sexual marketplace value.
Yeah, that's what it is. But there's a crossover at 30 years old, which is when men start to supersede in desirability and women go below men in desirability. It's just so it's honestly it's really interesting to look at this data. And as you can see, the male peak is around, yeah, you're right, around 45, 50.
That's when he's starting to earn money. That's why.
Well, that's also when we have something called a midlife crisis as well.
And physical looks as well. Because
as long as you're not out of shape and you know, if you are balding, you need to be jacked. That's the only way to offset it.
Sean Connery.
George Clooney.
Yeah, Clooney. That's the one I was thinking of. You can look at these men. If you stay in shape as a man and you continue to improve yourself, reading, studying, traveling, whatever it is that you got to do, you're going to end up being in peak, like the best ultra Chad by the time you're in your 40s.
I gotta say, this is pretty interesting. A group of guys around me are all talking about good-looking men.
That's right.
That's how you score the 20-year-old version.
Hey, someone's got to say it here. Pause.
We live in a society that has completely abandoned young men. So that is why older men, or shall I say slightly older men myself, have to do our best to lift them up ourselves. What can we say?
That's right. No, he's absolutely right. But yeah, I mean, this is also part of the reason why men delay getting married too, because we know we're delaying so long until we try to reach this peak, so that we can pair ourselves up with the most desirable, mate in our eyes. And then here's the chart by race. Super interesting.
Chart by race.
Based on number of initial messages a user received on an online dating service.
Oh, nobody likes black women on the online dating service.
So as you can see, the number one group on dating apps are Asian women. They receive the most messages, followed by white men, and then followed by Hispanic women.
Well, you certainly are correct when you say when people get married, they tend to do so, when they're at the best point in their life. For that reason, when male wages go down, fewer people getting married. So you can see that play out even in data.
I feel bad on this chart for black women. They're the lowest. They have the hardest time on dating apps. I
think a lot of that has to do with their personalities, especially Americans, because this dating app is probably from Western society, right?
America. Yeah, this is probably U.S.-based data.
Yeah.
And also, it's also demographic data. There's... Because black women are only 6%, just like black men.
Even black Africans from Africa, they have problems with the personality and the culture of American blacks. They find it really just dislikable. So I think that could be a factor in there.
But yeah, Asian women, white men, you guys dominate the dating app. So congrats, Grayson, Tara, and Aaron.
Happa. That's how you get happas.
Congrats to you guys. I'm screwed. Look at me. I'm screwed.
What are you? You're ambiguously Latino.
Yeah, but I'm third to last here. Hispanic man. It's true. I do horrible on dating apps.
Don't internalize this like you did the height thing.
No, it's a reality. It's a reality I live every day, Grayson. Dating apps are brutal for Hispanics, because the reason why, by the way, because I did research on this, people's stereotypes of races, it's subconscious. So when they see Hispanic men, they'll associate a lot of negative stereotypes when they choose whether or not to swipe right or left. They'll assume I'm shorter. They'll assume I have an accent. They'll assume I don't speak perfect English. They'll assume I'm low income or a manual laborer.
I gotta say,
I assume machismo.
Yeah, exactly, which is probably not a good thing for a lot of women.
I gotta say, when I first met you, you came up to the side of my car and tried to sell me oranges out of a bag.
Right, for $1 on the highway, right?
Yep.
Wait a minute. Someone fill me in here.
He's making fun of the Mexicans on the side of the street.
I just made this up. He did not actually do that.
Okay.
We met very formally. He was a very nice guy.
I was about to say, someone needs to fill me in on that then.
Yeah, no, we met at, I was sitting at a smoothie place in Arizona.
Oh, yeah. You had a good repertoire with that smoothie lady when I walked in. I was coming to pick you guys up and we were going to the TPUSA event.
Yeah, that's when I first met you.
TPUSA was the Clay Clark event, Reawaken America.
Exactly.
You sure it wasn't SAS? Student Action Summit?
No, Reawaken America tour.
I see.
Yeah. But this is all interesting stuff, this date. I love the dating stuff. It's really, I find it very, very, very phenomenal. Aaron, tell us about you. Do you have a relationship?
I do not. Unfortunately, when you're under my circumstances, which, worrying about if the FBI is going to show up at your door like the majority of the America First people are going through, you don't really have time for such circumstances. Like I said, I do want a relationship. I do hope I get married, but only for the purpose of producing a male heir. I need a young man that will carry on my legacy and carry on my name. So only really for those purposes.
What's your opinion about the incel movement?
I haven't really paid as much attention as I probably should. It really just seems like a bunch of young men who have the right idea of, how sex should be treated, on how men should truly view women. So from what I've seen, it seems like a pretty good movement. I can't say I'm really a part of it because I don't know all that much about it.
For those who don't know, what is incel?
No, Aaron, I think you got incel wrong. Incel is a member of an online subculture of people who define themselves as unable to get a romantic or sexual partner despite desiring one.
Nick Fuentes often describes himself as an incel, but I think online the colloquial term has moved beyond involuntary celibate to also include volcel.
That's different, right? Voluntarily celibate's different.
It's more of a slang term to describe somebody who's willfully chaste.
Right. So incels, by the way, Aaron, are someone who can't get sex because they're undesirable.
Nice guys finish last. What can we say?
That's part of it, though. That is part of it. Voluntarily celibate is much different.
Nice guys finish last. What can we say?
Right. So I don't think that you think the incel movement's a good movement. I think you would think the volcel movement's a good movement.
I'm not familiar with that one. That term I haven't exactly used.
I haven't heard volcel, but voluntarily celibate's much different than incel.
Again, topics such as these really aren't on my top list of priorities, shall we say, but it certainly sounds interesting. That certainly sounds like something I'd have to check out.
Yeah. No.
I'm part of a group called the Institute of Male Supremacy, and I've noticed that for my brand of channel and the stuff that I talk about really resonates more with men in their mid to late 30s. I do have some people that follow me that are in their late 20s, but mostly I attract people that are within my age group, and we have a couple of guys in their early 40s as well. But the whole incel movement also kind of really applies to the relationships between the genders, is that a lot of these older men have experienced workplace discrimination of women in HR, women making false complaints against them, bad relationships where false complaints, false accusations of rape come at them. And essentially, the incel movement includes a whole lot of the MGTOW and the Red Pill group. So I end up reading a lot about it and hearing about these men's stories that, that's just how I end up knowing about all these really esoteric words.
What's MGTOW?
Men go their own way.
What does that mean?
It means that there's a lot of men in society. I don't agree with MGTOW. I think it's a very interesting concept, but there's a lot of men in society that have found that the matriarchal structure and the female influence has led to some extremely degenerative outcomes. So instead of partaking in this extremely feminized environment, they're just going to go their own way and have their own masculine society.
Here we go. From Wikipedia, I have it up on the screen. Men going their own ways, an anti-feminist, misogynistic, mostly online community, advocating for men to separate themselves from women and from society, which they believe has been corrupted by feminism. Community is also part of the Manosphere, a collection of anti-feminist websites and online communities that include the men's right movement, incels, and pickup artists. The PUAs. PUAs are always...
Yeah, you'd be in the PUA. You'd be a PUA.
PUAs are always fun channels.
Pickup artists, huh?
Yeah. So
I've written my fair share of pickup lines.
Yeah? You want to use one on Tara right now as a test drive?
Is that legal?
Yeah, do it. Let's see. What are your pickup lines, Aaron?
Is that legal?
You only have to ask
it's not
that.
legal if it's the other way around.
Aaron, what's one of your
ask it
pickup
if it
lines?
works.
Yeah, it's only you're allowed to try. You're allowed to go above the legal age. She can't go down the legal age.
Mom is not going to like this episode.
So what's the pickup line?
Hey Tara, do you listen to Spotify?
Yes.
You do? I'm actually suing Spotify
Why?
for not making you this week's hottest new single.
Did you make that up?
Yes, I heard it from a friend.
one.
That one I heard from a friend.
That's
I
really
will.
good.
Look at she's
Grace,
blushing. She's blushing right now.
Something.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mom.
We might have to steal that one. So apparently, Shoju says, "What's up with men crossing their legs? Y'all making us look like cucks." So
They're talking about Adam specifically.
Can you zoom in on my legs?
No, we can't.
Make it really
please
awkward.
don't.
Look how high his socks are as well.
Yeah, I like high socks. They hide my skinny ass ankles.
I don't cross my legs at all.
Well, I mean, that's our conclusion for no homo. I mean, show us your socks right now.
There
See,
you go.
you
Look.
can show him his socks.
Yeah, move the little feetsies for you. There you go, show
There's
juice.
no homosexuals.
There you
around
go.
here.
leashes, not hands.
I always like to cross my legs. It feels good, you know. It's nice and comfortable. I mean, I could sit like this, like a mega
zoom
chat.
out.
Well, you got to zoom in to see anything, anyways.
You need a microscope. Does that thing have telescopic view? Pate the Trump was watching for a little bit. He wrote in our comments, "Do it." Could you give me your best do it for Jeff? Do it. Do it. Tara?
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Paint the Trump is Jeff's channel, and he's known for saying things such as that. That's his catchphrase.
And he also says triggered a lot. Let's see what else we got.
Trigger, do it, soy boys. That's sort of his
Mitch Lozada
phraseology.
says, Manosphere, Jack Murphy, rest in peace.
Oh, God.
Who's that? Goldberg or whatever his name is?
Yeah, Jack Murphy kind of played himself, right? With that post he wrote, that article
About
he
cooking,
wrote.
right?
Let me
No.
pull it up.
What am I thinking of?
No, I'm gonna pull it up. I think we're thinking
He
about
wrote
the
an
cup.
article about
cooking.
how apparently, about cooking. Oh, you said
Yeah.
cooking, not cooking.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
no,
wrote an
no.
article about cooking.
I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Yeah. Are you going live, Aaron,
Maybe I'm thinking about it
on
perhaps.
TikTok?
I've certainly thought about it, but you got two Groypers in the room. I don't know how exactly that's going to work out. Shall we say?
You should go live. Have you ever seen my speed dating episodes that I do sometimes?
I was on one of them.
Oh, you were on one of them?
No,
Yeah.
no, not like that. Not like that. Not like that. Not like that. Not like that.
So,
not like that.
Yay!
Sometimes I have dudes come on just to say what's up.
No, okay, so yeah, I was watching one of them and I was like, oh my gosh, like I try everything I can, I can't pull anything. He just goes on TikTok and he finds all these chicks. I got to go on there, give him so much shit, man. And
It's
so
fun.
I get
I
on
remember,
there.
yeah, I remember that now.
And so yeah, I get on there and I'm just like, dude, I hate your guts right now. Like I can't stand you.
Hip Hop of the Meaning says, Adam, please take your socks off.
No.
Jeff James says, Aaron and Adam both had crossed legs at the same time for a while.
There will be no feet pics around here.
So
This is
they're
a no
gonna-
feet pic zone.
So they're going to be screenshotting this, and we're going to have some weird photos. Jeff James said Grayson gave Adam a Napoleon complex. Hey,
from the little man.
Yeah, because I'm so freaking.
I'm gonna send you some more short memes. That's
I'm
what's
so
gonna happen.
short. I'm
This
so
is the
short.
outcome. You're getting memeified.
Hey, what are we doing later today, guys? Aaron, what are you up to today?
Well, unfortunately, being 16 comes with a very unfortunate commodity known as school. So,
So you got to study today?
unfortunately,
You got to go to communist
And,
indoctrination.
that is correct. That is very much correct.
And Grayson, what are you doing today?
I'm gonna go to the ballet and heckle those guys.
He's not going to heckle them.
No, you're not.
She doesn't know, but I'm gonna heckle.
So
gonna
Grayson
see
said
Carmen.
they're going to see a ballet, and his favorite part is the opera of it. He loves the opera section of the ballet.
I do.
Carmen.
Flight of the Valkyries is one of my favorite
That's a great
operas
song.
of all time. Yeah, by one of the greatest composers who's actually illegal to play his music in Israel.
Wait, really?
Yeah, look it up. It's illegal to play Wagner in Israel.
Why?
Gee, I wonder why. I don't know. I have no clue.
I really do my. I mean, look, I really do my best to try to listen to higher quality pieces of art like that. Because, you go to somewhere like in Europe, in Germany, cab drivers, they literally listen to opera in the car.
Oh, that's
here-
cool.
Yeah, over here in America, we don't have that. Okay, over there in Germany, France, whatever European country you want to highlight just for the sake of argument, you have kids my age that literally have opinions on things like Mozart, Beethoven, all these quality pieces of art. We don't have that over here in America. If I brought up those names over here in America, kids my age probably wouldn't even know who any of those people are. So this is a pure example of how the American government is specifically designed to make you stupid. The fact that kids my age don't know anything about this. So I definitely do appreciate someone participating in what is true, legitimate art.
Adam, do
Okay.
you know who Wagner is?
Yeah, I'm reading about it now.
Opera is based in red pilled. It makes you cool.
Yeah, I'm reading about this now. Now I know why.
It's the
It is
Orlando
the-
Russian
Are
ballet
you
that
gonna
we're
pull? Are
seeing.
you gonna pull it up on the
No,
iPad?
no, we're good.
It is the second best to Kanye's rap music.
You like Kanye?
Cringe.
Excuse me?
Well, he is based.
Excuse me?
Kanye himself is based. I'm gonna go out there and be like, I'm not a big fan of his music, and maybe it's just because I'm an older guy. Maybe it's because I just don't get
So
it.
it's an informal ban, by the way.
Even Jesus is King?
It's an informal ban in
Okay,
Israel.
that's a good one.
Even his album Jesus is King?
That's a good one.
Okay, see?
Okay.
There we go.
It's an informal ban, by the way, but they say you could still hear his songs on national radio and television. In the coming years, as Holocaust survivors begin to diminish in numbers, it'll be interesting to see if this will have any bearing on whether Wagner's music will be more widely accepted in Israel. They say that as immediate ties and memories of the Holocaust fade away, so will the unwillingness to deal with them in memory of a composer who espoused anti-Semitic rhetoric. So
Yeah, the great curse of anybody who speaks ill of that tribe.
Yeah, they think that it might change over time.
You
And what's the song that he
literally
had?
got his music banned for pointing out some facts about his country.
So he did this song. What was it called? Valkyrie? What is it?
Fly to the Valkyries. It's
Fly to the Valkyries.
yeah, it's one of the best songs.
I don't think I could play. Actually, you can play that.
This is in a whole bunch of Bugs Bunny as well. This is where I first heard the song. Is
Wouldn't
Looney
this
Tunes.
now be considered public music because it's been 70 years or something?
Yeah, yeah.
So we won't get a copyright strike,
No,
would
we
we?
won't. No.
After 7 years, it has to be out under
No,
public
70
domain.
years. Public.
7 years?
It's a long time.
Okay, then it has to be
It's
under
like
public
130,
domain.
140 years old. It's public domain. You can play it.
Then that has to be under that guy. Then you are definitely under public domain.
Yeah.
Public domain. Let me see. The public domain years.
This is what remember Looney Tunes? They always had a whole bunch of opera and classical music. It's because none of it was copyrighted.
70 years. Today, music enters the public domain with the copyright
play
on
it.
the recording
Play
of sheet
it.
music. So I could play.
This will be our outro. You guys ready?
Yeah.
You got a lot of cats.
I have a thing about strings.
Okay, maybe this will get us a copyright strike.
No, but if it's
an
public domain,
advertisement.
then you can't get.
Well, is it the ad popping up? You know.
Oh, maybe the ad.
That's unfortunate.
No, the ad won't get us a strike.
Yep. Be sure
Because I really
to
want to see that movie.
New Batman.
Oh, this is a classic song.
See, we've all heard it before.
Yeah, this is classic. I hope we don't get the strike for this. Probably it doesn't matter at this point anyway. I'm so demonetized on YouTube.
It'd be a copyright claim, not a strike.
Right, or a
And
copyright
who
claim.
would copyright it? Israel?
Damn Jews.
They would
Oh
do
yeah,
something
Bugs
like
Bunny
that.
played this all. It was like killed the rabbit, killed the rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elmer Fudd.
Yeah.
So I want to give big thanks to America Plus for coming on the Pure Politics Show, guest starring T&A.
That's right. This is the America First podcast.
America First. Yeah, let's just change our name
Based.
to the America First podcast.
That's right.
Based. No. That's already the name of Nick Fuentes' show. You can't steal
Podcast? I added podcast to the end of it.
Yeah, exactly.
it. Okay.
Aaron, you want to give any closing thoughts to our audience?
You guys can find me. I recently just got on YouTube. You can find me America Plus on YouTube. I don't post as much, but I'm going to definitely start posting longer content on there. That's where I'm going to start to post content that I really can't post on TikTok. You know, TikTok is very, very strict on community guidelines, so the stuff I can't post on TikTok is what's going to be on there. But my main platform is TikTok, as we keep bringing up. So America Plus on TikTok is where you can find me. I'll be with Adam and Grayson and Tara at CPAC and maybe AFPAC. I don't know. So we've got some really good content going, so be sure to go on both platforms and leave a follow.
Hell yeah. And Tara, I'll pull up his let me pull up his content on TikTok.
What about this one? United States Foremost.
American Plus. Here he is. I got him up on TikTok.
You're just, I look at that face, you're like, no.
There he is, guys. So go follow him. He just broke 1,000 subs again. Again. Third time, fourth time you're doing that?
Yeah, just about.
Can we watch one of these videos? What do you think is the best one? Because they're not too long, are they? You can just pop
No,
one on.
not at all.
Yeah.
Well, of course, you got the one of me painting, because I do identify as an artist as well.
Which
That's
is the
also
one I'm
of my
in?
things. The one that you're in? That would be
BLM protesters leave conversation?
That's
maybe, I
got
think.
9,000.
I
That's
think.
probably the best one. Just play that.
well, I have more. We'll probably see like the side of your head or something.
So, do black conservatives matter? So, how come black conservatives are called
Couldn't say that for TikTok.
that too?
So it's a black conservative getting yelled at by a bunch of white women?
And he's wearing the Confederate flag, the
And a soy
LGBT
boy.
version.
I mean, even Dr. Ben Carson, a man who lived it.
Me and Obama. That old lady has Obama on her side.
Tara, I miss these days.
That lady looks exactly like Elizabeth
Look at
Warren.
those pit vipers. Some guy with the pit vipers on the left. That was based. She's like, a black guy's harassing me.
No, I'm not in that one.
I was just like, I don't know. It's somewhere. I mean, obviously, got the video of me painting, because again, art is
Dad-
sort of my thing.
That connection with those types of people, like, it doesn't, it's just so insane.
it's dying to economics anyway.
That one you're playing right now, that's a good one
Most
too.
of our energy is being switched over to natural gas, non-renewable.
How'd you do these quotes on the bottom? How'd you do the captions?
Oh, just the app I'm using
We don't
to
problem with
edit
any
it.
of that. We don't have a problem with wind or solar. That just doesn't cut it,
Okay.
dude. So there's a guy that's right down there with a Biden flag.
The face
Made
mask.
me put on a mask so I could talk to him.
Well, I mean, let's start with the fact that we also have things like environmental discrimination. People, like the Republicans, like to make fun of that and say, "Oh, Black Lives Matter."
What a stupid moment in time wearing these masks outside.
I mean, that's a good example, though. If there is environmental
But it's just a way to be fun. You know that.
No, there's actually a serious environmental racism. Environmental racism.
What's environmental racism?
Everything is fucking racist now to
That's
these
one
lefties.
most-
What's environmental racism?
No, I filmed that video this Monday. It's going to be a year ago when I filmed that. That was on President's Day in Mar-a-Lago when Trump came by. That's where I filmed it because he was a counter-protester for that event. So this Monday will be a year ago that I filmed that.
Oh, are we live here now? We're
That's
live
one of
on.
those-
What's environment?
We've been live the whole time.
Wait a minute.
No, Tara, pull up the TikTok on the screen.
This is about to get
The
hella
wire got
meta.
disconnected.
The what? Oh, the wire.
Yeah, you
push
gotta
it.
push it.
It's about to get really meta. We're gonna watch a live stream on a live stream.
Is it in?
We're going to do Boomer Tech.
Are we live here now? We're live. There we go. So we're live on his TikTok.
We've been live.
Live from the studio. Look at that. This is meta now. No, Tara, pull up the TikTok. Now the audio's all messed up.
Imagine if I just invite you to join this live stream.
We're breaking the fourth wall.
Imagine if I just invite you to join this live stream with me.
Oh
We're
God,
fixing to do Boomer Tech.
really messed it up. There we go. Let me see. Can
Oh, I
I
don't
give?
have a TikTok. I can't join anyways.
I just gave you some likes. Here you go. Take some likes for your stream.
Oh, thank you so much. You are too kind, Adam.
Let me see if I can give you a
kind.
gift. Can I give you a gift? No.
Imagine if I just invite you to join this live stream with me.
This is
Imagine if I
great.
just invite you to join this live
All right,
stream.
let's
So you
close
hear what
out.
I just said afterwards. You should get on TikTok, man. It'll be some of the funniest stuff you've ever seen in your entire life on that platform.
Absolutely not. I'm not going to be on TikTok. Ever.
Oh, you know what? I want to show Schmeckel to Aaron real quick before
Oh
we
God.
close out.
Who?
Schmeckel. Schmeckel. One of my.
Silence.
You're about to see
Excuse me,
a
the men's
demon in
restrooms
real
are over
life.
there.
Pull it up, Tara. Pull this
Oh.
up. Ready?
Excuse me, the men's restrooms are over there. Oh, sorry. I thought you were.
Sorry, what?
Oh, the men's restrooms.
The Greatest Showman looks differently.
Excuse me, the men's restrooms are over there.
I'm so confused by this clip, though.
Sorry, I thought you were.
Sorry, what?
Oh, the men's restrooms.
Yeah, someone called the
there.
ringmaster. The bearded
Excuse
lady
me,
left
the
the circus. That's...
I'm just so confused by this. What's a binder?
It's something you have to keep notebook paper together.
The youth are the future of this country, and I have good feelings about Aaron right here.
Thank you, Grayson. I appreciate that very much.
This demon, though, not so much.
Alright, enough schmeckle.
Yeah, stop. No.
Tara, this one.
No.
One more
You just
for the
enjoy
road.
torturing people.
One more for the road.
Dude, you're watching more of this person's videos than my videos.
Yeah.
I feel betrayed.
I'm just mesmerized by this human being.
Last night it was okay because it's just us, but we got Aaron in studio, and his videos are way better than this. This makes me feel physically ill.
Don't worry.
You choose this over my
I
stuff,
muted the
Adam.
iPad.
I feel betrayed.
Thank you.
I muted the iPad.
I just feel mentally betrayed that you prefer to watch that over my stuff. Like,
Yeah, and then one day for no reason at all.
Oh God, it's just funny shit. All right, guys. Well, Aaron, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much
on
for
this
having me.
lovely Saturday afternoon. And obviously, we're going to be here next week for AppPack and CPAC. And we're thinking about doing a big collab in the future where we invite a lot of content creators together. So we'd love to put you on that list and get you involved in that.
I'm sure I would love that.
Yeah, it should be good times.
Pool party.
That's right.
For Adam's birthday.
That's right.
Oh, he doesn't have a birthday.
I don't. I only have a death day.
Yeah, I brought a catapult. We're gonna shoot you over the wall.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. Back to my homeland, right? Back to my homeland, Queens. Queens,
Israel.
New York.
Yes, please go back to where you came from.
We're just joking. We're just joking. He just needs to go
Jokes,
to the Rio
of course.
Grande.
Jokes, of course.
Tara.
Make jokes, of course.
Any closing thoughts?
Aaron, thanks for coming in studio. You're only our second guest in studio, so it's coming along together. Super excited. And yeah, thanks for joining us. Today's conversation was excellent, and you definitely have to come back for future podcasts.
Of course I will.
Hell yeah. All right, Grayson, any closing thoughts? You groiper?
A very intelligent young man. Very impressed by his answers. Those videos, you're very articulate. I got to give you that. And yeah, I have a lot of hope for the future. People look around, they're black-pilled, and Generation Z is really pulling up a lot of the slack that the boomers failed on, that the millennials suck at. And yeah, thank you for coming on. Very
Well,
smart.
thank you so much for having me. Yeah, you and me will definitely be talking more in the future. I know that for a fact. Now that I'm in your Telegram chat, you and me will definitely be talking more in the future.
Awesome.
And just big shout out to Leah Thomas and Women Everywhere. I don't know if you guys heard. Leah Thomas is a trans woman swimmer for UPenn that just set a new record. So congrats to Women Everywhere. It's a big day. Women should be very proud of this accomplishment.
Yeah, I hear trans women are real women.
Exactly.
So women
So
are
I'm
now
being
beating
a little
world
sarcastic,
records.
by the way, guys. I'm being sarcastic. It's a biological man going into their swimming pool breaking women's records. It's like, come on, this is why we think that trans women should not
Wait till
compete.
Michael
Breaking
Phelps.
records, breaking
Wait till Michael
skulls.
Phelps transitions to Michelle Phelps. I mean, that's when women's
I
sports
mean,
gets crazy.
I mean, eventually we are going to see an all male WNBA team at one point. We're going to see all trans women WNBA, and they're going to win the championship.
Okay, so not joking, but real life, Iran actually does this for a lot of their sports teams.
Yeah, soccer.
They force gays to go through gender reassignment surgery, and then they call them women so they can beat people on the international stage on sports.
Yeah, the
Because
soccer team
Their
did that.
teams are men.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Did you see this Iran soccer team?
Like, it just sounds insane, but Iran has caught on to the insanity already. So they're like, we'll just cut your dicks off.
They figured out how to make use of this.
Yeah, most players on here. Check this out real quick.
This
before you
stream
go.
is never going to end.
Check this out real
We
quick.
keep trying to end this, and we just can't.
So check this out.
Oh my god.
This is most players on Iran's women's team are men.
It's real. It's
Look.
you
So
think-
let's spot the men. Can you spot the man in the photo?
Yeah.
Which number?
It's the one who looks like he wants to kill himself. Number 2.
Yeah, I'd say number 2.
Number 2.
There's multiple in there. Number 14.
If that turns out to be a woman, I'm going to feel really bad.
13.
Pretty much point out
Four.
the ones that
Number
look
14.
like.
How about this guy?
You mean a woman?
Number 1.
Zoom in on number
I
1
mean,
again.
look, their headline says most players on Iran's women's team are men. These are actually just men.
We should play Spot the Woman, actually.
For Arabs, that's a difficult game.
That's crazy.
They don't even show their hair. How does...
That's crazy.
I just play who's in a burqa. I'm like, yes, this game's easy. You in a burqa? Yeah, woman.
That's crazy. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the T&A Show as always. You'll be back maybe tomorrow. We'll do another episode. Maybe next week we'll do episodes. We're excited. We have a lot of stuff coming up. Tara and I, Tara and Grace, are going to be on Ricky Rebels podcast coming up soon, so that'll be exciting. Stay tuned for that. And as always, we stand with the Canadians. God bless Trump. God bless America. Let's go, Brandon. Be free, my sheeple. What am I missing else? Polish American Brotherhood.
Subscribe to American
Pure Politics,
Grayson.
America Plus Ghost, TikTok. God bless. Thanks. Gripers.
America first, bitch.
Gripers. Yeah. Shout out to Nick Fuentes and the Gripers movement.
America first, bitch.